I recognized that part of the environment in my family was holding on to things, right? Like always giving and never being willing to receive, which on a spiritual level contributes to heart disease. Because right here for the heart, the energy center that manages the heart and circulation and even the lungs, like the transmutation from air into blood and all these things, that's managed at the heart. And the thing is that heart energy center, that's the seat of giving and receiving. If someone's constantly like, I'm giving because I'm a people pleaser, I want you to like me, but then anytime you try to get something, no, you're jacking your equilibrium up, and physically that messes up your arteries, that messes up one side or the other. And in my family, like there's a lot of people pleasers. We held things in, we didn't want to erupt and all these things. We wore masks, and I mean, this is my perspective. But being able to address that, the environment.
You know what?
Dude, man. Damn flies, man. These flies, bro. They'll mess up the sound.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one don't like me, man. This one's coming out banging me in the head and shit, you know?
Bro,
I'm like,
you're like, God damn, is that armor, bro? You know,
yeah.
There's one in there's been one of these big bugs in the office where I work, and I'm like, that thing goes around my head. I'm like, the vibrations. I'm like, damn, son, those things are big. They're meaty. Ugh.
Yo, man, they're like we talked about our last episode. They're attracted to light, man. You give off a good vibe, man. You got some good vibes, man.
As do you, bro. They keep flying around.
Yeah.
Now that you got it, babies. That's it.
That's how I'm gonna look at it. That's how I'm gonna look at it.
It's the
enlightened being.
Baby.
Yeah.
Just give him the light, and also just give us the likes. Hit the like, subscribe. Thank you for showing up. This is Paul B. Brian.
I'm here with you, my man. I'm here. I'm ready.
Let's go, my man, Brian. Hey, so this episode we've been going into some really cool stuff lately, man. I mean, the feedback on the podcast on the different variety of topics relating to health, like mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. It's been
different
really
philosophy, right?
Philosophy, dude. It's been spectacular, man. Spectacular. And I'm looking forward to the content that we're going to go over today, because I think this is more on a physical, and I also think there's other areas with that too. You know what I'm saying, B? Like, I think there's other things that can contribute. And if people are watching are like, what the heck are these guys talking about? I'm glad you're asking. It's hypertension. Hypertension. So chances are you've heard of this, or you've had you know someone, or you yourself have heart disease. I myself have high blood pressure. Well, I'm experiencing high blood pressure at this point in my life. I'm transitioning from it. So this topic is, I don't know, I have some nerves around it, B, to be frank.
Why? What's going on, man?
Well, looking into
be
this,
excited,
right?
man. We're about to learn something, man. We're about to educate each other.
Well, yes, it is. I'm excited about that, and also it's like I'm letting a lot of things go. So because my family has a history of high blood pressure, man, and we're going to talk about that. But in researching this, and even in this topic of the myth, I'm recognizing that like there's certain stories I may need to let go of if I really want to address my high blood pressure. So there's some nerves coming up for me, like good nerves, like exciting, like game day bubblies, and I'm like, oh shit, what am I about to let go of? So, that's why I am with it, man. You came up. I'm trying to remember how we came up with this topic. Was it?
We did another episode on this, and we got some good feedback, and we're just going into a little deeper this time. Get a different perspective and just dive a little deeper into it.
Let's okay.
So I think. Listen, it's a number one killer in America. We need to have more than one episode about this. And I think the medical community, as we're going to talk, really doesn't know much about it. You know, they give you they read a number off a blood pressure cuff, and then they prescribe you with a a beta blocker or a calcium channel blocker, and be on your day, and try not to die on the way out of the office.
Dude, it's was, and that's the narrative, right? That's the whole narrative of this whole thing. It's like, oh, you got high blood pressure, let's put you on this. I gotta say, like, disclaimer. Look, we're talking here about your health. Our whole intention here, this podcast, is to support you in you having your version of health and well-being. It could be with your doctor, if you're on naturopath, whatever it is. Like, our thing is, we're here just providing content and our perspective. And the narrative is, when you got high blood pressure, you got heart disease, go see your doctor and get on some pills, get on the meds. Okay, so Brian hit it right on the head, man. 54% of adults with hypertension are diagnosed, 42% receive treatment, and a mere 21% listen, this is the thing that got me. Only out of all that, only 21% have their hypertension controlled. I think this is like, so I'm interested in this, bro. We're gonna go over myths around hypertension, and we may stray off of some other things because I feel some stuff coming up. So, B, let's talk about some of these myths around hypertension. Do you think we want to say what it is, or I think everybody's got an idea? Check the other episode. Damn it, and go from there. B, let's go for the myth.
Yeah. I mean, if you Google high blood pressure, right? Dr. Google says, there's about a 90-95% of all patients are diagnosed with high blood pressure, right? There is an unknown cause. I'm sorry, 90 to 95% of people are diagnosed with what they call idiopathic high blood pressure, meaning they have no clue. Doctors have no clue of what's causing it. They use certain phrases like, you might, like, you have high blood pressure. They might use certain phrases with you, like essential high blood pressure or primary high blood pressure or idiopathic high blood pressure. Those are usually the three biggest phrases they use. Yeah. And to me, when you don't know what's going on, like for me, it's like, how do you not understand where the high blood pressure is coming from? Is it you're just too lazy as a doctor not to take some time out and kind of figure it out, or you just don't know? Again, we're only the doctors are a product of their education, their formal education through med schools, which are basically funded by pharmaceutical companies. So they're not going to get to the etiology, because the job of a pharmaceutical company is not to create cures, it's to create patients. They want customers. So, for example, it's funny because they're like idiopathic, meaning they don't understand where high blood pressure is coming from.
Driving home from work today, what's the percentage of that, Brian?
I must have
what's the percentage of that?
Up?
What's the percentage of
90 to 95? Yeah, 90 to 95% of doctors have no idea of where how the high blood pressure is happening. And it's funny, like I was saying before, I drove home from work today, and I must have passed 25 fast food restaurants, 3 smoke shops, 5 liquor stores, and they have no idea of what's causing this high blood pressure. To me, it's just common sense. I mean, you can go anywhere in the U.S. and just people watch. You can count how many people you think actually look healthy. I mean, close to 60% of Americans are morbidly obese, or, I think now it's like 40% of people have diabetes or they're, and they have they're pre-diabetic. I mean, I travel around the world. I can point American out in any country a half a mile down the road.
It cracks me up every time you say that shit. I'm like,
we're so unhealthy. And it's like, people go to these doctors, and I think they want to fix it, but we talked about this before, an average time you meet with the doctor is 6-7 minutes, in and out. It's a revolving door. So the doctor's never going to be like, all right, hey, I'll tell you what, let me see your food diary for the last 3 days. What have you been eating? You don't see him checking things off. You don't see him talking about the stressors that's going on in your life. It's just common sense, So the myth is basically doc, they don't know. They have no idea. And it's
so the myth is that doctors know and can control it, and the truth is that they don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to say that they know and they just don't want to tell anybody because they're trying to put them on a drug, but that's not what they're trained for.
Dude, I think I'm hearing everything you're saying. It makes sense to me, right? And the thing as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about the reality of the transaction that you mentioned, that a time with a doctor is usually like 7-8 minutes. Now, personally, my doctor, because I've developed a relationship with him over the years, like my time with him is usually like 20, almost 30 minutes, bro. So it's like, oh shit, like, because he knows my history, like I'm communicating with him in between our visits. So it's like we have a knowledge. Coming back to like the original statistic, right? Mm-hmm. For these cats, if people are going in and like, hey, I got high blood pressure, first of all, they don't have the time. And also they may not know, like they're going to have to research what the heck this could be if they're getting all this data, right? Because now they're liable, like, oh, they told me this, and I got to figure this out. And my judgment is that probably most of the medical profession or a point in the medical profession, it's a protocol. Right. So it's like, if we're looking at things, because we talked about this when we did the FDA episode B, it's like, if we're looking at this as a business, right, and they're looking to scale this, like, okay, what's the protocol so we can like churn and burn? Because remember, we're going to have some fast food, we're going to have smoke shops, blah, 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 blah. We got to make sure that they keep consuming. So how do we keep them going real quick? You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, it's like a freaking, what's that thing you call it, B? It's like a
revolving door.
Yeah, revolving door. Yeah, man. Keep them going, man. Keep them going. So I think it's interesting. It's true, right? I think the myth, and B, what I'm hearing in what you're saying is the myth is that medication will control it, where it's like the truth is
or that's the only thing that's going to fix it, and that's the primary reason that's going to fix it. That's the primary cause that's going to fix it is a medication. Like you need a medication, you need it. No, it's like. And that medication, I mean, if you look in like the side effects of what like calcium channel blockers do, beta blockers do, like it's scary. Like you're setting yourself up for something else. Yeah, you might, that number on the chart might go down a little bit, but you're setting yourself up for other issues in the body. And go back to episode 25 or how we talk about that, or you just do act Dr. Google, and he'll tell you all the side effects that come with it. So I mean, I feel like it's also one of those things like. It's like, who came up with the number 120 over 80? Like, what happens if you're 130 over 90? There's a lot of healthy people out there. I mean, these are like independent studies that are not funded by pharmaceutical companies or any kind of, acronymic government agencies that show that people that got blood pressure under 140 is healthy. Under there's healthy people that were 140 over 90 that are fine. They're healthy. So like I think we got to stop looking at like just some kind of arbitrary number and realize that everyone's kind of like on a bell. Like you can be all over the place,
Yeah. There's a different range on here. Yeah, I think that's important to note because everyone's body's different. It's like a fingerprint. So there could be a lot of factors that are contributing to the fact that a person has high blood pressure. Like I know for me, stress levels, like anger, also, dude, like making sure I'm staying up on my cardio, like staying away from the Wendy's double stacks, man, especially when I get stressed. But just like I know the things, right? And it's a matter of me consistently doing it and also having my measures, bro. Like, so that's why I think it's important to note because like what we're talking about here, as far as it's more than medication, it's a person's got to do their part too. Like you listening, you and all there in the back with hypertension right now, high blood pressure. Yeah, we got to do our thing. I'm putting myself in there because I have high blood pressure. Like, again, I'm experiencing high blood pressure right now. I don't want to have it. I want to be free having it.
And part of my point is too, if you would sit down and you would list all your stressors that you have going on in your life, it wouldn't be idiopathic to you. you would know
Right,
what's causing your high blood pressure. So
Bruh.
it's like when the doctor's like, oh yeah, we don't know what's causing it, or that's the term they give is idiopathic. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Sorry, like, are you dumb? Like,
Yeah.
how do you not know? Like, you went to 8 years of school for this, and you can figure. And if the patient is awake, consciously awake, they know what's causing it, and
Right.
they even never set foot in the classroom. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
know.
either you're too lazy or you just don't understand it, or you don't know, or really you're just that. I don't want to say dumb, but you're again, you're a product of your education. That's not fair, but you're just like, you're in another realm.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And they don't want to go down that path. I mean,
It's
like,
crazy.
they don't want to cure you. Hey, watch your stress. We'll check up on it in a couple months. Hey, we'll start you off at a low dose and kind of see where it is, and blah 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 blah. And the problem is a lot of these patients, they don't want to make lifestyle changes. They rather just take a pill to lower it, knowing then they feel better once that number hits once that blood pressure hits that arbitrary number, and then they're good. Not knowing in 5-6 years is going to lead to another issue in their body. And then they got you.
Yep. Man. Got you, bitch. That's
got you, bitch.
I think this is so important that we're talking about this, man, because and I'm also, as we're talking about this, I have such a respect and gratitude for my doctor, because over the years, like, having a relationship with this dude and like connecting with him. Like, when I know I got an appointment with him on Friday, one of his first questions, like, where are you with stress, man? He knows my history, right? It's like he knows what's going on. So it's like he knows the history, but then he also knows my life. So he's like, okay, Paul, and here's another thing, because it comes back to what you said. Does a person want to change? He knows my intentions. He knows I want to get off the freaking medication. So he's like, look, man, I want to get you off, but you got to do your part. That's his thing.
Sure.
He'll say that to me. He's like, yo, I want to get you off, bro. You got to do your. I know he's going to come at me about the winter coat. I know he's coming at me about the winter coat. So look, man, I'm here for it, Dr. T. Yeah. I'm here for it. I know what
that's
I did.
That's a good guy, man. That's a good doctor. Listen, man, if he's taking time out, 20, 30 minutes to meet with you every time, he knows your history, and he's telling you, listen, I got to keep you on these meds until you decide to take responsibility for your life on the outside. Bless up to him, man. That's a great doctor, man. Good doctor.
And he is. And also, I want to acknowledge myself, because when I go to see him, I'm going into him with notes like, yo, this is where I've been. This is where I'm at right now. So it's like we can fine tune some stuff, man. It's strategic, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
important.
So I mentioned, very much so. So I mentioned about family history. So I think that's one of the myths. Did you have that as one? I know I had it as my myth, is that if you have a history of high blood pressure or heart disease or hypertension, you're going to automatically get it.
Yeah.
You got that too, B?
Yeah, that was my next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you got on that, bro? Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I mean, I've read a lot. I read a lot of books. If you ever read a book, it's called The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. And he was one of the main guys that started something called epigenetics. Back, I want to say in the 70s. So there's a lot of research out there, and they're saying that genetics don't play a bigger role as we actually think it does. And he actually mentions, again, though, he's like almost like the godfather of the epigenetics. And he says genetics play about a 3% role in your body. What controls your genetics is the environment around you, mental, your food, your lifestyle, all these other things that are going on. These keys or these stressors unlock these genes that will give you high blood pressure. But just because you have the gene of potentially having high blood pressure, it's not the genetics that are opening up. It's your environment around you that's opening it up. Yep. So control your environment. Stop playing the victim role, unless you're one of those 3%, which I doubt. And fix your environment. Look what's going on around you.
Yeah, and so I want to build on your wisdom with what you're saying, B, is because as me also telling myself the story that I have a history of high blood pressure and heart disease. Wrong. That's a lie. Well, yeah, I do have a family history because like my mom had heart disease, high blood pressure. My brother's got a one of my older brothers has a heart transplant. My other and a kidney transplant, and my other brother's on kidney dialysis, and my other brother's got high blood pressure, and my oldest brother had a stroke 2 years ago.
Man, you're like the Mr. Universe out of your family, man.
Yo, I'll take that. I'm like, yeah, baby, look at the
yeah, man.
But like, bro, it's so it's been
But
easy.
I guarantee you put your lifestyle, you view the world. I mean, I don't know your family, but one of the things that attracted me to you on a physical level, you're not that cute, but like on a emotional level, like you have a good vibe about you. You have high energy about you, you know? So you fight off a lot of things. I think you deflect a lot of the things that are trying to get in you because you have you vibe at such a high level. And I don't know anything about your family or anything like that, but I would look at that as being, definitely one of the main, adversaries in your part of your, spiritual being.
Brother, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. And what you say, man, it actually, for me, it helped me to begin to detach from the story because of this, right? Like, because of the way I see things, because like looking at things more holistically, I recognize that part of the environment in my family was holding on to things, right? Like always giving and never being willing to receive, which on a spiritual level contributes to heart disease. Because right here for the heart, the energy center that manages the heart and circulation and even the lungs, like the transmutation from air into blood and all these things, that's managed at the heart. And the thing is that heart energy center, that's the seat of giving and receiving. If someone's constantly like, I'm giving because I'm a people pleaser, I want you to like me, but then anytime you try to get something, no, you're jacking your equilibrium up. And physically, that messes up your arteries. That messes up one side or the other. And in my family, like there's a lot of people pleasers. We held things in. We didn't want to erupt and all these things. We wore masks. And I mean, this is my perspective. But being able to address that, the environment, and also as a man that happens to be Black, in the Black community, Caribbean community, a lot of blood pressure and hypertension comes from the environment of even the food that we eat, because like a lot of the food that we eat is like, being real, it's like from slave times, because our peoples, we got the scraps. So what do? We made the most of it, like oxtail. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole bunch of fat, a little bit of meat. That is delicious. I'm gonna tell you, it's delicious with some rice. You never had it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've had it. Yeah.
Oh,
oxtail soup. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, rice and peas and cabbage. Yes, sir. So, but these types of things, because when we eat them on a regular basis, it's basically like eating the processed foods out here. People fail to recognize, and we talk about this all the time. If we start to eat differently, the environment, we start to eat differently. We start to eat less processed food, which is where that salt, like, and we'll get to salt. I think you probably have that on your list too. The salt intake in that is freaking ridiculous. And that's all that's in a lot of communities, right? It's low socioeconomic communities, right? So these are these things to look out for. It's not always the family history. Like the family history is beneficial if you learn from it. You know what I'm saying, B?
Yeah.
It's beneficial if you learn from it, because then you're going to teach your kids, and all of a sudden they're walking around with their heart functioning properly, no constrictions all the freaking time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And what I'm hearing from you too is you empowered yourself.
Yes,
you empowered yourself, and that's huge. That's empowerment is just such a high vibration. Instead of sitting there being like, runs my family, what am I going to do about it? You flip the script and you're doing the law of polarity. Is that what it is? You're doing the opposite,
so.
And little hermeticism in there for you people at home. The law of polarity. You can't fight darkness with darkness. Go do the opposite, and that's.
Brother, Yes, man.
You empowered yourself, man. Happy for you, bud.
Thank you, bro. Hey, man, it's a constant on and on and on, bro, and that's exactly why we're here. But again, people, this is just a wrap, and thank you for that, B. I appreciate you, man. I hear your words, and I'm receiving them. Thank you. I've worked very hard for this. Now I'm going to be working on my physique for the pool at Lifetime. So listen. Now we've gone through 2 myths already. I want us to address a couple other ones, man, and then let's start to look at.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah. So the one I had, which I thought was interesting, is it's only for older people. High blood pressure is only for older people. With young people, because I didn't even think about blood pressure when I was in my 20s. I didn't think about it. It was only until I started getting migraines all the freaking time, and I went to the doctor. He was like, "Do you have high blood pressure?" I don't know, doc. Oh my God, yes, you do. There we go. So if I had paid attention to my high blood pressure and my blood pressure climbing at a younger age, I think I would have made some different lifestyle changes. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Still love to drink though, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But that was the other one I had that is only for older people, young people. Everyone gets to check their blood pressure and how their heart is functioning. I'm saying that specifically because heart disease and blood pressure is the heart functioning improperly. So how does it start to function properly? Did you have that on your list, Age?
Yeah, it used to be as you get older, you have more of a chance of heart disease and high blood pressure. But the reality is a lot of high blood pressure, it's caused by your environment. We have so many more environmental toxins these days. Our food is absolute trash. We're under more stress. EMF, we talk about 5G, all this stuff in our we're vaccine crazy these days. We're taking so many pills. It's chemical stress on the body.
Yeah.
So naturally we're going to start having, high blood pressure at a younger age. We're predisposed to this much earlier, and we have more of this stuff around us. And I think it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. I don't know the statistics out there, but I guarantee you, look, 40 years ago, most people, they wouldn't develop a high blood pressure until they're probably in their 50s or 60s. Now people, I know people have high blood pressure in their mid 20s. They're on medication, 23 years old. I did a consultation with a 23-year-old kid the other day, and he was on high blood pressure medication at 23. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I looked at his diet, and his diet was absolute trash. But man, I'm like, where do you think you're going to be in 20 years, buddy? You need to fix your shit now, man. You're too young to be having all these issues. So.
B, oh my goodness, B. I just want to add on some man, dude. Thank you for what you just said, man. Oh my gosh, this whole thing about the environment, especially when we've talked about glyphosate and just the types of food and what's in the foods now, right? And even the processed foods. I look at it like this, man. We're putting these foods, and we've talked about the sludge portion, right? Be like how it turns the body into sludge. Think about your bloodstream now slowing down, being thick because of processed, heavy, nutrient deficient foods. Now all of a sudden, your body's got to, and now you're it's got to work harder. Now, here's the crazy thing, party people and these young folks out here that are watching the podcast. Thank you, by the way. You start taking these medications, then other organs start to fail. Okay? Years and years. Listen, I'm talking about from experience because I've seen this in action on my mom and my brethrens. It will cause you to fail, other organs to fail and get damaged because it's got to process all these meds. So it's a must while you're young. This hypertension is getting it has no resistance. Listen, it has no preference. It'll come at your ass. Right, B?
That's it, man.
Right off the hey, Brian, I wanted to ask you, did you have on one of my myths is there's no white coat syndrome. Do you have that on your myth list?
I don't have that one, but I definitely think there's white coat syndrome does exist. I
Can I
mean,
get an
there's a lot
amen?
of research out there that it does exist.
So
So, I
people,
mean,
yo,
I would go with it. Yeah.
bruh. So I gotta say, I gotta speak this because this is one of the reasons why my doctor likes to take longer with me. Because when I go in there, right, I'll take my blood pressure at home. I'm freaking giddy. I'm sending them like, yo, bro, I'm 125 over 83, son. Who you with? I'm all happy and junk, man. I'm like, he's like, hey, Paul, looks great. Great. Bro, I get in there, 150 over 115. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So, and it's on those machines, right? And it's not even the white coat syndrome anymore. It's the damn mechanical machines because they squeeze so damn tight, bruh. It's like, yo, I'm about to faint and shit. You ever go through those doctor like electronic high blood pressure tables? Bruh, it's like a white grip, bro.
You start
So
veins are start popping your head and shit. Like,
yeah, I'm like, I'm about to.
they grip you tight.
It's crazy. So let's explain what this white coat syndrome is. So what they and Brian said they've done studies. What happens is you can have a normal blood pressure when you're at home, and that's one of the reasons why if you do have high blood pressure, heart disease, take your metrics at home and take it at different times so you know what kind of factors may be contributing to your higher blood pressure. So going on that one, right? So what happens is when people go into the doctor and then they see the white coat, so they see the doctor, there's a nervousness that comes about them and their blood pressure actually spikes. So it's real, man. Like, so you may think like, oh my God, all of a sudden, and it could be a shell game too. Like, yo, go see the doctor. So after you're like, God damn, yo, your blood pressure's your blood pressure's high. You've been stressed? What's going on? Oh, we got to put you on a medication. What? But now if you didn't take it at home, you wouldn't know doo-doo. Right, B?
Yeah. That's it. Take it at home first. If you can, take it at home first.
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons it spikes too, like on a mental emotional level, like people don't like to be judged. People go in there and they don't want somebody looking down on them if something's wrong.
Ooh.
You know, you can quickly give yourself a symptom if you just think about it, you know, and you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be caught off guard, or you want to kind of stand your ground a little bit, and that'll naturally raise your blood pressure. You're almost like getting ready to go to a combative, you know, fight here. So, you know, man. It's exactly like you don't want to be judged. You don't want to look down upon, and that'll naturally, you know, put you in a kind of a fight or flight.
Brother, yeah, I believe it, man. I just thought about that. Like, yeah, doctors would put me on the defense.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. Like you walk in, chances are you're going to the doctor. You know, majority of people, they're overweight. You know, they're stressed out. Then they walk into this room, they close the door behind you. Everything is in pristine condition. You have all these fancy plaques on the colleges they went to. They come in, they're their white coat, and it's like, and you're just like, holy shit. For most people, like, I'll do whatever you say, you know, kind of like one of those things. And like, you know, please don't judge me. I want to, you know, and they just, you know, strap that thing on you, you know, pump that thing up until your veins are popping out of every orifice of your body. And boom, you're 150 over 115. And they got you, bitch.
Got you, bitch. Here's the medication. Here's your prescription. Bruh, that shit is so freaking true. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, bro. So what we got? What's another one you got, B?
Salt. You know, I see that too a lot. Like, oh, I can't have salt. My doctor doesn't want me to have salt. And listen, there's a big, huge difference between table salt and sea salt, Celtic, Himalayan, Hawaiian salt. Anything that's bleached is just bad for you. And one of the reasons too, while salt is bad, regular table salt is bad for you, because I mean, if you look under a microscope, there's little pieces of glass, there's sand in there. And what happens is when you ingest salt, it actually creates like tearing down your smooth muscle, down your esophagus and your stomach lining. So you have these microscopic tears. Then what happens is your liver tries to produce more cholesterol to kind of patch it up. So that's one of the reasons they don't want you to have salt. But Himalayan, pink Himalayan, black Hawaiian, gray Celtic sea salt, so beneficial for your body. They go like 50 something trace minerals in there. And what it does is it replenish your electrolytes. It makes your bones stronger. It makes you retain water on the inside of your cells, not on the outside where you get like that bloated look. So it makes you, because most people we talked about before in other episodes, that a lot of people drink a lot of water and they're still dehydrated. And one of the reasons they're dehydrated is they don't have enough trace minerals to flush that water into the cell. So it has a lot of benefits. So again, big difference between table salt and sea salt. Do your research. Again, like a doctor's not going to tell you that because they just clump everything under one, because like they literally have 4 hours. I mean, like if you look at a doctor's syllabus when they went to school, they literally have 4 hours of nutrition under their belt. I mean, like, which is nothing. I sometimes study that more in one day, like, so they don't know the first thing about how nutrition and all these trace minerals have an effect on the body.
Listen, I gotta tell you,
do your research.
Yeah, do your research, man. I'm gonna make up a shirt for you for that. So do your research, bitch.
I like that.
Yeah, I know. I knew you would. I will hook you up. I think this is a good time for us to start to transition on what people can do, because I think salt is a big myth, and I've always thought that, especially like with high blood pressure, be one of the first things they suggest. Like, do you know the Mrs. Dash diet? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And I ran away from that shit a long time ago. But then like,
I'd probably rather die 20 years earlier than go on that shit, Yeah,
it is actually horrible. One of the things I've educated myself on is a different type of salts, man, and the reason. So when I found out about the table salt, one of the reasons it was so difficult, I was like, yikes. This is no good, man. So let's talk about some of the things that people can start to do. That'll help.
We got a bunch of them, bud.
Yeah, let's go for it. I love beets.
So first one, like beets. Is that what you say, like beets? Yeah, I mean, go for it.
I know the nitric oxide, man. That's the beet. That beets. Beets are good, man.
I got that on here too. Yeah. But eat according to your metabolic. Yeah, I have eat according to your metabolic type. Go back to episode 2. Eat according to what you're designed to be eating. If you don't know what metabolic type is, you're kind of confused because your first time here. Go to episode 2, and we have in the link we have a description to figure out what your metabolic type is. And what I like about this diet, it's the only diet that I know is based off your body's genetics and its DNA. And if you want to get the book, it's called The Metabolic Typing Diet by William Walcott. You can just go on Amazon and get it. And to me, I've read probably 50, 60 nutrition books in my life, and this makes the most sense. And all the people that I've studied under love this one. So eat according to your metabolic type. Go to episode 2, do your metabolic test, figure out what you are. And if you want to take the extra step, get the book. The next thing I have is you're probably, I know about you, and I know you're into this, is breathing techniques. So with breathing, when you do proper breathing or do different kind of breathing techniques, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which decreases the heart rate and dilates the blood vessels, which reduces overall blood pressure. So as your breathing becomes slower, your brain associates with a state of relaxation, which causes your body to slow down and other functions like digestion. So when you're in a sympathetic, always kind of fight or flight, all the blood flows to the muscle and away from the digestive system. So when you go into parasympathetic, all the blood leaves the muscle. Not all of it leaves the muscle, but goes back to homeostasis where it's like a balance, and it starts going into your digestive system. You can break down food a lot better too. So you have anything with the breathing techniques?
Yes.
What do you do? I know you do breathing techniques with your clients in your yoga, right?
Yeah. So my biggest one right now, I was just thinking, which one I suggest? The biggest one is exhale longer than you inhale. Exhale longer than you inhale. So for example, like my go-to recently has been a 4 and 6. So I'll breathe in for a 4 count, breathe out for 6. Breathe in for a 4 count, breathe out for 6. And the key thing is envision you are releasing tension from your body. Like that's the biggest thing. Like, before we got on today, and I think I'm still having some sound issues, I'm not sure, but before we got on today, I had a little meltdown. So I had to go take my time. I had to go take a Pauly time out, and I got to go and breathe. Because I was telling Brian, I have a tendency to go from one thing to another. So I went, I sat up, I breathed. There's some mantras that you can do. Like if you're curious, you could put in the comments and I'll share some with you. But the most important thing is to breathe and envision that you are setting tension free, like you're relaxing everything in your body. You can start from the top of your head. You could start down. You could go all the way down, almost like you're in a waterfall of like an indigo light, just like washing over you, like just letting yourself go. You'll find that it's going to relax you. And again, because the high blood pressure is constriction, so your body's tight. It's holding something. It may be physical, it may be emotional, maybe spiritual. That breathing technique, you 4 count in, 6 count out, and just continue to think of releasing tension and stress. And do that you do that for 5 minutes a day, then work to 10, 15, 20. Yeah. A whole different place, man.
I love it.
Whole different place, bro.
That was good, man. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Yeah, I'll try that.
It's nice, man. It's really nice. If you have like the young kid, like, yo, man, it's amazing. Like, especially like how you do assessment with breathing, I've noticed myself, and even like in my brothers, and just noticing people with high blood pressure, they're shoulder breathers. They're like they're not moving. And I'm thinking, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, I always like when I always do like little side note. I always do a lot of like people come to me for more like rehab issues and everything like that. So what I do is I always try to muscle test them first. Basically, muscle testing is basically if I push down on you and if I move you down, that means a certain part of your body's not working. So you need to kind of beat my pressure. And then I figured out why is that muscle weak. It's usually caused by an overcompensation of another muscle. But anyway, so what I usually do is first thing I would say is like I put them on their back and I'm trying to test their core muscles. I go take a big breath. And the first thing 99% of people do, they breathe through their chest. They're like you said, they're shoulder breathers. And right away, like I know the breathing's jacked up. And I got to kind of like take a step back with them. They're having low back pain. They're having migraines. They're having knee pain. They're everything stems from breathing. And I'm like, listen, if you're a chest breather, you're getting 1/3 of the oxygen in your body. Your body literally thinks it's hyperventilating. Your pH levels are going to drop, which makes your body more acidic. And if you're in the gym to try to get a better body composition, you can't build that much muscle on an acidic body. You're not going to burn that much fat. And it leads to a whole plethora of different issues, like as far as digestion goes, hormones, everything like that. So like you need to learn how to diaphragmatically breathe first. Those who don't know what diaphragmatic breathing is, you can just like Google it, or you put your hand on your chest, put your other hand on your stomach, take a big inhale, and the hand on your stomach should be moving before the hand on your chest. The first 2/3 of oxygen should be coming through your belly. Last 1/3 coming through your chest. So that is basically what a diaphragmatic breathing is, and that's why breathing is so important. That's your first place to go. So
that was spectacular.
You with me, bud? You're kind of chopping out a little bit.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh, I'm still with you. Yeah, I think it might be. I think this might be on your side, B. I think it may be on your side.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, because I'm like, I'm good. I see you chopped up.
Now you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Right. Okay.
Next thing I have is exercise. So exercise can definitely lower your blood pressure by strengthening the heart, making it pump more blood with less effort, reducing blood vessel stiffness. And exercise also improves the function of the lining of your blood vessels, the smooth muscle of the blood vessels, which leads to more relaxed arteries. I got that in there. Meditation and visualization. We've done so many episodes on this. Meditation and visualization can help lower your blood pressure by increasing nitric oxide, like we were talking about before. which leads to widening of the blood vessels, makes it easier for blood to flow. Meditation, like we talked about before, reduces the body's stress response, which contributes to high blood pressure. It lowers hormones like cortisol, reduces activity in the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, which has a calming effect on the body. So that'll help too. Another one too. We talked about this with our gene mutation. Remember this one? With the episode with gene mutations. So the MTR gene mutation.
Oh, yo, you brought it
this
back.
This is something that a lot of people, Gary Breckett, I watched one of his YouTube channels on this, and guy's awesome. I love this guy. But he talks about gene mutations, how it's one of the leading causes of a lot of issues out there. And there's one specific gene mutation that a lot of people have. It's called the MTR gene. And what this gene does, it breaks down homocysteine, which is an amino acid in everyone's blood. We need it, right? But when we're not metabolizing this through something called methylation, if you don't know methylation, just go back to the video. We're not converting this into methionine. So we need homocysteine to convert into methionine. And most people don't have this gene to do this conversion. And if it doesn't happen, you're going to have a deficiency in methionine, which what it does. Methionine basically is a starting block for almost every amino acid in the body. It's needed for structure of all the proteins in the body, your digestion, your immune system, your blood vessels. So when you have too much, when homocysteine rises because you can't clear it, it becomes super inflammatory. And when this happens, it starts to irritate the lining of the blood vessels. And in return, the smooth muscle, which is the lining of your blood vessels, it starts to clamp down and it makes the blood vessels smaller. And when this happens, your heart's got to work harder and harder to pump the blood through. And it's a lot of the time, it's very easy to fix. All you need to do is take like a B complex vitamin, and that naturally lowers your homocysteine levels. So long story short, some people, a good majority of people have this gene mutation. Take a B complex vitamin, a methylated form, make sure it's methylated, meaning broken down, and go with that. And as we're going into supplements, magnesium helps soften the blood vessels. Most people have a magnesium deficiency, that goes without saying. Vitamin D, that's super important. So what vitamin D is, the foundation basically for all enzymatic functions that lower blood pressure. So without vitamin D, if your body's deficient in vitamin D, which a lot of Americans are, I mean, there's a lot of studies out there. We're so deficient in vitamin D. It has a direct correlation with high blood pressure. Damn. So what it does, it decreases something called aldosterone in the kidneys and controls blood pressure. So aldosterone, what it does, it increases sodium reabsorption in the kidneys. So too much aldosterone actually causes the body to retain too much salt and water, which increases blood pressure. So vitamin D is a good fighter for that. Again, B complex vitamins, potassium, vitamin C. Vitamin C helps strengthen the soft tissue and blood vessels. Fish oil. When most people don't take enough omega-3, so fish oil is really good for lowering blood pressure. It also helps with skin issues, inflammation, lowers cholesterol. And yeah, there's so much. There's so much.
I'm just saying, there's a lot there, man. There's a lot. And
yeah,
it can be overwhelming.
The last one I want to leave you with, let me just go with one more. So nitric oxide, because I'm going to piggyback off what you said before, and I think that's an important one. So if you ever got the shot, the COVID shot, or if you ever had COVID, what it does is it actually blocks nitric oxide absorption in your body. So nitric oxide is actually needed for the blood vessels to constrict, to dilate, to dilate. So for most people, remember we talked about this, by the time you're 60 years of age, you're only getting about 15% of the nitric oxide that you have in your body. So taking nitric oxide as a supplement form, go back to our nitric oxide video, and I tell you exactly the supplement to take and how to take it and everything like that, and what to be careful about how to take it. And this is a game changer. Nitric oxide is so important, and it's so overlooked in the medical community. I mean, you don't even have to watch our video. I don't care if you do. watch another video on it, watch a doctor talk about it. And a lot of stuff we talk about the nitric oxide video on our end is from doctors. So super important, overlooked. If you ever had COVID, you ever got the vaccine, you're going to have a nitric oxide deficiency. And we explain that why that is in that episode. But that's it.
A lot of stuff you said there. A lot of stuff you said.
Well, I'm trying to give a lot of people like stuff they can take with them and just empower themselves a little more, and have no excuses.
Definitely none. And I think it's there's a lot. So what I'm taking away from all this is that there's a lot of options out there to manage your health and your hypertension.
Oh yeah.
The key thing is to act. We laid out a lot of options here for you. Like I'm even like, I forgot about the MTR mutation, man. I really, I think that was right. Yeah, that mutation. I forgot all about that. We did an episode on that, man. I'm like, what? And just there's a lot here. Whether you want to go and get the supplements, or you want to start off with breath work, or you want to start off with doing your research about your family history and the environment that your family's been in, start and do something, because there's a way for you to take control, be the master of your health and its outcome by really knowing the background about your hypertension and what you can do. Like you may start doing one thing and be provided a lot of options. You may start doing one thing, I'm going to try this. And one of the key things is how you're going to know if this is all working. Take your damn freaking blood pressure at home. Like actually, I'm reminded, like my batteries ran out last week. I'm going to go get some new batteries after this podcast. Take your blood pressure at home. That way, you know what's going on. You can start to monitor. The key thing is like, whatever you do, the key thing is to act and to know yourself. And we talk about this in almost all of our episodes, man. And, Brian talks a lot. We both talk a lot about the metabolic typing diet because it's based on who you are. That's been our foundation this whole time. Find your solution, damn it. Find it. Yeah. All right. B, that was
again the whole point of doing. Yeah. I mean, the whole point of doing this was you're going to go to your doctor if you have, and 90 to 95% of the time, he's going to diagnose you idiopathic high blood pressure. He doesn't know, and he's going to leave you there. You're going to be wondering why, or you're going to leave there with a bottle of prescription medication in your hand, or a script to go get it at Walgreens or wherever, and you don't have any tools in your toolbox to fight this off. So our whole goal here is to, do our research, what we've done in the past, how we've helped other people, and just give it to you guys so you have these tools in your toolbox moving forward, and you can pick and choose as you please. And again, like Paul said, like check it out. Do your blood pressure before, do some if it's a little high, do some breathing techniques. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds. Do that for about 15 minutes. Take your blood pressure again. Guarantee it's dropping. Guarantee. So you have something there.
Yeah, B, you hit it on the head right again, man. Right again. This episode was chock full of goodies. And you said something that really resonated. The doctor doesn't know. And I want to add to that. The doctor doesn't know you. So the doctor can't know you until you start to know yourself. So start paying attention, people, and start sharing with your doctor. And if your doctor's like, yeah, that's good, kick that mother hoo-ha to the curb and get somebody that's going to listen to you.
Exactly. Go to Paul's doctor.
Yeah, seriously. If you want a doctor, you live in New Jersey, put it in the comments and I'll send you his information. Bless up, Dr. T. That's what's up, B. Always a pleasure, my guy.
Always a pleasure, my man.
Shazam! All right, everybody. Peace. Like, share, subscribe, people. Like, share, subscribe, man. The more you like, the more you subscribe, the more this gets out here, the shorts, all these things. And it'll get to someone that could use this message to save their life, man. This shit is real. So bless up, everybody. Thank you. We appreciate you. Out of here. Peace.
Peace.